Kalel, no!
Welcome back, everybody, to the VHS Vault. I am one of your hosts tonight, VHS Jace. Next to me is the great Jason Roy Gaston. And special guest, all the way from the Captain's Quadrant, Captain Joe Dub joins us.
Permission to come on board. How's it going?
You are aboard, my friend. Well, the thing is, Joe will be here. Unfortunately, Joe said yes to a really bad idea. And that bad idea was he had to go back and watch Justice League.
Painful.
But he was kind enough to jump on board. So he'll be joining us for this Justice League. And then the next time we jump into the Superman universe with Zack Snyder's Justice League, you will also be joining us for that as well. So
yes,
fantastic to have you aboard. Good to see you again. And
yeah, my buddy from Australia. I'm glad to see your face, even though I'm watching you on this show on VHS Vault and your other channel. So I'm getting
I'm always you can't get rid of me that easily.
No,
so,
never.
All right. Well, we've been down the journey, Joe, with this. All right. We've watched all the old school Christopher Reeve Supermans. We've done that.
I love those.
We did Brandon Routh. We've done Man of Steel, which was a controversial episode between me and Jason on the VHS Vault. I like it. He hates it.
Yeah, I go back and forth.
I think that's overall still a good film.
Yeah,
we go back and forth between it's terrible and it's freaking awful.
We did agree about Batman versus Superman, though. I think we both agreed pretty well much on that, which was... So what's worse, actually? Let me ask Jason while I've got him here then. What was worse so far, Man of Steel or Batman v Superman? What's been the worst one?
Definitely that Batman v Superman was just absolute dog water.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, your thoughts on Batman v Superman before we dive?
Terrible movie, and because they don't use any lights, it made it even worse. I can't see what's going on. Like, where's the light?
Dark film.
It's a dark film. Unnecessarily. So this is a Superman film, right? Did you? There's two parts.
I don't think they knew what Superman was.
I don't.
It wasn't. So. We mentioned that, Joe. It definitely wasn't Man of Steel 2.
No.
Like Superman never gets a sequel, really.
No.
The Man of Steel never gets a sequel. Yeah. But here we are. Everybody's still excited about a Justice League, I remember, guys. I remember 2016. I'm like, yeah, check out Justice League's going to be great because they're all together, right? What could possibly go wrong? Well, you lose a director 3/4 way for a horrible tragedy.
Oh, that's right.
The director had to step away for. Mm-hmm. And then they brought in the number one guy. If you, at that time, were in trouble and your director have to leave, who would be the one director you would want to get?
The Avengers director.
Right? Because he knocked it out of the park. So
it's a killer movie.
And that's right. So nobody, I think, at the time, before this movie, was complaining that, like, he was going to be directing. We were going, Joss Whedon will be okay.
Yeah. And then it came out.
And we saw it.
Yeah, then we saw it.
What
happened? Oh.
But, that was I only saw it once. That was it. No, that's a lie. I think I saw it twice, one at home as well. But I haven't seen this film for 8 years almost since it came out. Because Justice League is 8 years old, which is nuts.
Crazy. Yeah.
So 2017. There you go, right?
All right. Time flies.
So anyway, that's a long lead in to go, okay, we've seen the Justice League. My opinion, it sucks. Next. Guys.
Well, this has been the VHS Vault. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, this is a short episode, guys. It was terrible. Thanks for having me. You can find me at Fiat Squad.
Not only is it bad, not only does it suck, it's weird. Watching this movie is weird because it goes from dark to joke to dark to joke to dark to joke. And it's so fractured, and it's like this weird patchwork creature that was sewn together by an incompetent Dr. Frankenstein, and who is just lumbering across the screen, gurgling, "Kill me," over and over and over again. It is, and the humor is just, it's 100% pure cringe. Every single one-liner they shoved up the prostate of this movie just makes you want to go, ugh. I honestly, I felt so bad for Ray Fisher, because especially after watching the Snyder Cut, this is the first time I've watched the Justice League after seeing the Snyder Cut, and I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, it is no wonder he was so angry in every single interview he did, because they took his part and they just vivisected it until it meant nothing.
Yeah, 100%.
Awful.
Awful. However, he's one of the strongest parts of the movie as an actor.
I mean,
he's fantastic as a performer.
I feel for a backstory, he had the most build-up in the movie.
Yeah. I didn't mind him in the movie at all. I think out of the two, Joe, that I think really stand out the most are Cyborg and the Flash in this film.
Yeah. Oh man, what a terrible follow-up with Flash. His whole existence just unraveled, and you find out all that stuff. You're like, oh man. Yeah. I just out of curiosity, are you guys up to speed with the whole current DC universe situation?
In regards
to a new
to
DC universe?
What?
Yeah, there's like Batman's gone and Superman's getting colorful.
Oh, you're talking about the comic universe?
No, the new movies that are coming out.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be very different when we get there.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Is there a new Flash?
I don't believe so. No.
There's no new Wonder Woman, no Flash, no Batman so far.
I know there's no Batman.
Wow. Now that they have hinted that these characters do exist in the Creature Commandos, because they show a bunch of silhouettes impaled on sticks at one point. There's a Batman, there's a Wonder Woman, you see Supergirl, you see Superman, and it's the David Cornsweet Superman. So they're around. They're just kind of doing their own thing right now. You know, Batman is Bat Daddy right now, and the Flash is I think the Flash was in that sequence. I'm sure he's around somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering, because I was curious. Like they give you all this casting, they've got a lot building up for this, and then no, part of the other two. So I was like, are these guys?
I think it's going to be a very different con when we get to those films.
Yeah. You'll probably be like,
retrospective is that we will finish the current version of it with Superman Legacy when that comes out in
perfect
July. So it'll be good
timing.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the things that don't work in this film, guys, everything.
The film.
No. And look, it starts in the first few seconds, right? When most people think of Justice League, yes, you're thinking of the upper lip. That's what I think of. Someone says Justice League, I see that freaking
weird face thing with Superman. I'm like, why?
Well, they couldn't, because at the time Henry Cavill was contracted in filming Mission Impossible.
Oh, that's right.
And he had a mustache in that, and it wasn't allowed to, which is weird, right? Because to do a fake mustache you can get away with that,
right?
Like you just put on a fake mustache, but no, Paramount went up yours basically and said no, he's not allowed to shave off his mo. So Paramount, in a way, are responsible for his upper lip too.
That's
because they went, no, you're under contract, you can't shave it off.
But Warner Brothers deserves the brunt of the blame, because apparently there were some executives who had to have Justice League released by a certain date so that they could get bonuses.
Yeah.
And they did not want to wait for Henry Cavill to be available, without his mustache. And so they brought it in and they told them, hurry up with those effects so we can have this thing released by November, because we don't give a crap if it's good or not. We just want our bonuses.
That makes a lot of sense now.
That is,
I didn't know that
attitude behind this movie, that they just didn't care. They just wanted it out in theaters. And
it happens quite a lot, believe it or not.
90% of what's wrong with Warner Brothers today. And I hope they keep their hands off the DC universe as James Gunn starts piloting it.
He gets
only end in tears again.
He gets 1 to 2 shots.
Yeah,
that's what he gets. He gets 1 or 2 swings at this. If Superman Legacy and Supergirl: The World of Tomorrow are mediocre, it's done for. Say goodbye. Warner Brothers will sell the DC universe.
Oh,
they will. If they
go that
Mickey's over there in the castle going, they're going to sell it?
Yeah, they will. But if he doesn't make money, Zaslav will go, well, you're out of here. Because
Zaz is the cutter.
They are not films that are cheap to make.
No.
Like, they will put 250, 300 million. In fact, this film alone if I could just have a quick look at the price for it. It's shocking. $300 million budget. $300 million to make this film.
And it looks
It's
like
insane.
butt.
It does look like butt.
awful.
And when you think of it, there are only two key sequences, like battle sequences. There's the one in the underwater, in the underground, and there's the battle at the end. This film, because it was, I think Jason says it perfectly, such a, a hatchet job. They had to simplify the story.
Yeah.
So they just went with the most obvious beats. Let Whedon do his crappy jokes. Man, these jokes are bad. Like want to throw the remote at the television bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
there was apparently, this was also, if you remember, it was the beginning of Joss Whedon's downfall as far as his problematic behavior with women is, because there is one sequence where the Flash pushes Wonder Woman out of the way, and then for a second or two he's laying on top of her with his head between her bosoms.
Yeah.
And then he's up looking kind of awkward. Gal Gadot refused to film that scene. She was like, "No, I'm not going to do that. That's creepy. I'm not going to do that."
Yeah.
So was they use a body double?
Yeah, they used a body double, but apparently, like, Joss Whedon was threatening her career at one point, saying, "If you don't do this, you're done. You are done in this role. I'll make sure you're done." Yeah. And so, if there's one thing that we can thank Justice League for, it's exposing Joss Whedon for the creep that he was.
Yeah.
The other thing is, you talk about the separation, right, from, and it's very clear from what Snyder shot to what he shot.
Yeah.
And you can tell it's not only unfunny. I reckon I can tell the actors are uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
There are scenes with even Ben Affleck where
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, he's keyed in and then he's not keyed
in. Yeah, that was like, what's up with Ben in this movie? I noticed that a lot because, like, sometimes
this is what killed it for him. This film,
think so.
like, it was like. Remember, he had plans after this. He was due to go and shoot a Batman film, The Batman.
Yeah, and he was supposed to direct too. Right?
He was going to direct it. It was going to be about death. You're going to have Deathstroke in it. It was going to be a big. It's going to be amazing. And thank his experience on this, he absolutely kind of hated it. Now, Joe, introduction of the characters. Like, I think we got a really strong introduction to the Flash in this film.
That's what Flash and Cyborg for sure. Were really well done. I think this is the best the Flash had looked on. Was this the first time he was actually on the big screen? Because I remember they had the Flash.
Well, besides the dream sequence in Batman v Superman, this is his
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, but this was a big time introduction for him and Aquaman, I think, because Aquaman.
It is Aquaman's, because the Aquaman film came out Christmas time. It came out 6 weeks or a month later than this film.
Right.
Because this came out in November.
Oh, wow.
It came out in November. And that goes back to Jason's point about if they didn't get it, out before Christmas, no one was getting their Christmas bonuses. So, their fiscal year bonuses or whatever it was. I don't like Aquaman in this film.
He didn't really do anything. There's a part of the underground scene, and he's like, but really not anything memorable for Aquaman.
I don't think he's likable. I think he comes off like a try-hard. I'm trying to be cool.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't gel for me. What do you reckon, Jace?
I really like Jason Momoa's Aquaman. I'm one of those odd people out. I like the interpretation of the character. I liked him as this weird frat boy that was too old to be acting the way he was. Because to me, that's like a rotten king right there. Just somebody who just thinks that they are just having a lot of fun. Jason Momoa is such a charming guy. You guys like my cat's butt? Isn't that wonderful?
I was going to say, we're going to love cat booty today.
Get out. No, she's getting on my keyboard. Hold on.
And so
I honestly don't. I think he's a lot better in his standalone film.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Than he is in this film. I think, yes, he's a good Aquaman, just not in this film for me.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it was the cut of the movie, though. Because, again, having seen the Snyder cut, everything here is just put into this new context that I did not notice before. Just the simplified, stupid version of Justice League.
That's 100%.
Later on we get the good version.
Yeah.
Well, Gal Gadot in
Better
this,
version.
who I'm not a fan of, right? I'm not a fan of,
Hell
although
no.
she is stronger in her film.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
In
I
the-
agree too.
I always
She's
say Wonder Woman is fantastic if you turn it off an hour and a half in. You just turn that film off. It's almost the best superhero film in a long time. I hate the third act of that film. She probably because of Joss.
Joss, yeah.
She isn't even trying. She gets moments of dialogue in this, and I'm going, holy crap! Like this is worse than Days of Our Lives quality acting. This is worse than she's just given up at this point. Yeah, like I thought she was horrible. So really out of it, and out of it, I reckon you've got 2 or 3 characters who are doing their job. The rest of it's just
I feel like Jeremy Irons had a good time.
He always does.
Jeremy Irons is good doing anything. Jeremy Irons could literally read the script and go, "Oh, this is bullcrap. I'm not doing this," and it would be Oscar worthy.
I feel like him and Cyborg really dialed it up, and Flash. But everybody
I will kind of defend Josh's choice to try to lighten up Superman in moments, though, because without even that really bad, like him trying to be friendly in the beginning, and there's a couple of moments at the end that he was a bit more lighthearted, a bit more close to the Superman we know. Because if those scenes weren't in there, he is the most unlikable Superman ever.
Yeah.
I'm going to just build off of something I said last time on the VHS Vault, whenever I said that Justice League, at least this version of Justice League, actually gets Superman pretty right in my book. Now, it is some cringe humor a few times, but particularly whenever he's kind of having his little competition with the Flash, or whenever him and Cyborg kind of fall down and they're laughing because they've won. And they're just kind of just, and he says something about, "Oh God, you remember what I said about liking being alive? I kind of wish I was dead right now." And they're just laughing. I like that. I like the goofy, dorky Boy Scout Superman. Yeah. And yeah, this is the closest that I think that Henry Cavill got to be Superman.
Yeah,
including the Snyder cut of Justice League, which I think is a far superior movie. But
still didn't
Superman, I feel like they finally got him right in this movie, and it's like the worst time in the world they could have gotten him right. They should have got him right 2 movies ago.
Yep.
And that's the thing, if you go, all right, well, I'm going to come in and lighten up this guy. We need moments of levity because it's it just doesn't gel though.
No.
How do you go from a scene where Superman looks like he's about to execute everyone on the planet when he comes back to making jokes less than an hour later? It just doesn't feel right for the audience.
It's a shame the pacing wasn't right in this, because
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's very disjointed, and because of that, it seems like, well, he got over it quick. You know what I mean? But meanwhile, I'm a big comic book fan of the Death and Return of Superman. I still have, somewhere there's a comic book section I have. Still have that, and I still love it, and I'll go back and read it every now and then. And when Superman comes back, they do something similar, but there's like a prism, and it's pretty cool.
Well, there's all these different Supermen, right?
Right. There's all different Superman. They all kind of merge onto each other, and the Cyborg and the other guy, they all get like blasted by Cyborg. There's a Cyborg Superman, and then there's Cyborg that we know and love here. And they bring him back from like the Phantom Zone. He's kind of like leader of the Dominion of the Phantom Zone. And that's a big play on the Snyder cut where he shows up in a special costume, which was a big deal for us.
He didn't have the long hair, but he was still wearing the black suit.
Yeah, the black suit was so dope. And I was so...
I think, the problem is the whole concept, even in the comic books, Joe, I didn't like it when he returned. I didn't like the split versions of everyone. I checked out. I wasn't really into that. So for me, I'm like, for them to do the return of Superman, it's fraught with danger anyway. And that was my question is, why do we have to see Superman die at all? Like throughout this franchise,
shock
why?
Value. It's shock value.
Shock value, like there was no real.
And it was. So
I can guarantee you, James Gunn won't be killing Superman anytime in the next.
Better not.
They
won't.
I'll be done with it by then.
No,
he's
not.
He's got that. Soups. He's got that really cool light, the glass kind of telescope thing that brings the sun and heals him. Everyone's seen that?
That was cool.
Love that.
And I heard that's Alan
The
Tudyk,
holding
the
down.
robot.
Oh yeah, that's Alan Tudyk.
Right?
Yeah, it's Alan Tudyk. Yeah,
that's what I thought. I'm so excited for this movie, that movie.
It'll be so different. Now back to this movie though, Joe.
Oh yeah.
The scene I wanted to ask you guys about is the lovely day in the park scene where he returns and lands in that, where his statue's been destroyed and all that.
The best scene.
That's a big spectacle scene. But man, did that look so fake, that whole scene.
Yeah, definitely green screen.
Oh, the
whole thing is green screen. There's nothing real there at all. But the only, even though it's a weird run for Flash, when he starts running up on Superman, you forget Superman is really fast too, and he starts to look at Flash, and Flash realizes that was the best moment of the whole movie.
That was really great.
I'm gonna just go zoom up and he saw me.
Ezra Miller just doing this to the camera.
Yeah, he's like and then he flips around.
But to me, I never liked that he was like. To me, if he came back from the dead and he's confused, I don't like that his default emotion is anger.
Yeah,
that's my issue with that. Confusion and scared, and that's why he does what he does, because he's scared in the moment. I buy, but in that scene,
he's angry.
He comes after the Flash hardcore in that.
Yeah.
Moment.
Well, I think that it wasn't really that it was just anger for no reason, because remember, he really didn't start lashing out until Batman went up to, "Hey, Superman, are we cool now?" And Superman's like, "Oh, it's you, Mr. Do You Bleed?"
No, it was when Cyborg got triggered.
Oh yeah.
And when he made the thing, and then he pointed it up, like, so it is kind of Cyborg's fault.
Yeah.
See, Batman just didn't racist. They're trying to blame the black dude.
Oh no,
that's not right.
That's because he grew up.
You tell Joss Whedon did that scene then? No.
Yeah, now we get it. It all makes sense. How
many black characters really he has in his shows combined? There's a few, but not that many.
I think it's 6. I think the number is 6.
There was the principal from the last season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's 2.
That's true.
And
that's like searching at the bottom.
And then there was Ron Glass from Firefly.
Yeah, that's 3. Yeah,
that's Ron Glass.
I counted. It's 6, buddy.
He's the one.
Yeah.
Oh, we're rest in peace, Ron Glass. R.I.P.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah,
he was great.
Him and the hair.
Yeah. So 6 total, just so we're familiar. Amy Adams as Wonder Woman.
I don't like her. I don't like her of Lois Lane. I've
Lois
said
Lane.
that from the get-go. Is because she's an amazing actress, Joe. I think she's deserves every Oscar that come on her. She's uber talent. She's just not Lois Lane for me.
Nope.
She doesn't embody Lois Lane for me.
Lois Lane needs to be a feisty and in your face.
Yeah, a little shorty with kind of jet black hair who's a pain in the ass.
Exactly.
She's a dog with a bone. She won't give up.
She won't let it go.
Amy
Adams is kind of like a soccer mom.
Sucking down darts up on the roof and cigarettes. I meant.
I know you mean. Don't worry.
Cigarettes.
Yeah. I
like that. I want Lois to be half drunk occasionally and
that
just being, because that's the thing, isn't it? Then she's kind of a juxtaposition to Clark and Superman.
Yeah.
Like good healthy couples are never usually exactly the same. They're different.
Right.
And I like that she's kind of reckless and all that. But yeah, he still loves the hell out of her. But no, I don't like her in this film. I don't like Amy Adams' cast.
She was a poor choice in casting.
I have no opinion either way. She was just kind of like a prop the entire time, as far as I'm concerned. Never really
I
had
understand
any
why.
substantial scenes either.
I mean, she is, like I said, an incredible actress. I assume if Amy Adams comes into your film and says, "I want to play Lois," it's pretty hard to say no.
Right. You can no. Go away.
Yeah, no,
go away, aiding me, Adams. You cannot play Lois Lane.
Yeah, I just felt like even in the Superman movie, I felt like she really was miscast. She felt out of place for Lois Lane.
You know who else is miscast in this film? The entire Russian family, because we don't need them. They add nothing to this movie. They're out of all the dumb things Joss did, adding the Russian families up there for me.
Why were they? What was the point of that?
We needed a human element on the ground so that we cared about what was going on in that not really Chernobyl city. I was kind of the same way. I was just like, okay, one
5-year-old writing to add them.
Yeah, one is that it's boring. Two is that the parademons are terrible villains if they can't get into this shack.
Yeah.
I mean, for literally half the movie, they're like, "Come, mother, hold this 2x4 here against the door. It's okay. They cannot get through wood."
I put one nail in each. You cannot.
Meanwhile, the aliens from Signs are like, "Yeah, it's really hard. It's hard to get through wood."
Yeah.
By the way, people in that village, because there are more people than that Russian family, we do get a 2-second shot where we see other people leaving a little small village.
6 of them.
The reason they went there is because of the radiation, right? It was better for them as a species to be in that.
Yes.
But the people in the village have been sucking down radiation every day for. Shouldn't they be all skin melting dead?
Yeah.
Well, there are people who still live in the Pripyat region around Chernobyl.
Get out of here, really?
And so I mean, it is based on a real world example. So
yeah,
I can't fault them for that.
But that's a fact you just pulled out. I'd never heard before. Joe never heard before.
No, I didn't.
Meaning everybody else watching this film probably didn't hear about it except some educated teachers like yourself.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Bad choice to do it.
I'm sorry, everyone else is historically ignorant.
Isn't it? If you can't appeal to the mass audience, which this film is trying to do, then you've got to make sense to a general audience. That doesn't make sense to a general audience.
Yeah.
Everybody hates the Russian family. Like you ask anybody who watches this film and you go, "Hey, what do you think of the Russian family?" They sucked. And I agree with them.
They were just like a waste. It was like, huh? It's like, why do we care? Like, I thought it was supposed to be a wasteland. It was supposed to be like apocalypse on Earth,
Also, I want to slap the color correction guy who was told to turn the third act to red.
Yep.
Like, come on, man. That didn't work for me either. It made no sense that he has the shield. They put the shield up, but then above the shield, it starts creating clouds.
Yeah, there's a lot of poor choices made.
You just got to question Joss Whedon's thinking there, especially an actor like Ray Fisher, who had just this incredible story in the big cut of the movie, watching your part get chipped away so that you can have a stupid Russian family, continually talk about someone will come for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone will come for us. It's okay. No, we need vodka. We need vodka.
Vodka and wood.
Meanwhile, you've got Ray Fisher in scenes dropping gold nuggets.
Yeah.
Not only is it a fascinating character, that guy can act. Yeah. And I'm angry at this film because it cost him a role in Hollywood to be in other films.
I was going to say, I haven't seen him in anything ever since.
No, and we should be seeing a lot more of him. Because I'll tell you what I like, what's really strong, is his portrayal. I like in the beginning of the film that he is overwhelmed and he's confused and he feels, constricted and held back. And I like the complexity of that character, which we get to see a lot more of in the next version. But man, every time he's on screen, I'm like, how about we just make a cyborg film, which we should have gotten, by the way, back in 2020.
It was on the docket.
It was on the docket. Yeah. So absolutely horrible. The fight scenes, I do think Batman comes off pretty well in some of these fight scenes. We get to see some cool stuff with Batman. The Batmobile bit was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we get to, a few moments where he gets to swing and beat. Nothing like in Batman v Superman, that really great scene at the end. But
but at least you could see him this time. Like there was enough lighting where I can actually see him swinging his fists, instead of.
I don't know if this one scene was in the Snyder cut or not, but I really like the scene where the Flash is kind of panicking before they go into the parademon pit, and Batman says, "Just save one."
Yeah, that's
then
in
what?
Movie.
And then you'll know.
Yeah.
So if it's just in this cut, it's probably my favorite scene in this cut because I really like Batman as a mentor. I don't like him as just the prick on the Justice League who thinks that he's better than everybody else. That was really good advice. Just save one, and then what? And then you'll know. Yeah. And so the Flash was like, saved one, saved another, saved another, saved another.
Yeah. It's a really strong moment. It is.
Yeah, they did a lot of good. They did a lot of good for the Flash, and
the Flash has a really good end to that scene too, where he's running around the thing, and he has to push the sword back into Wonder Woman's grass.
Yeah. They're doing They're doing X-Men First Class with.
I was gonna say
it's the exact same setup.
Yeah.
It is true.
Yeah.
But First Class though. Oh.
They
we'll have to
nailed
talk about that one day. My favorite X-Men film.
Yeah.
Anyway, besides that, I just think you've got the key scene of, we've talked about the park scene, we've talked about the underground scene, and we've got the final act. Everything else in between it, I can't remember a lot of.
It's ass. There's some moments with Ray Fisher, and they're outside of his house and the stuff with his dad.
Here's that gnarly moment at the beginning though, where it's just a body.
Yeah.
How on was really good.
Yeah. And his dad was the infamous doctor from the scientist from Terminator
I was waiting him to be leaning against the cabinet going,
I don't know how much longer I can hold this.
Because now we know what happened to Freeman Dyson's son, became cyborg. It opens Wonder Woman's first scene. It's kind of butchered in this version, but whenever she shows up and whenever she saves everyone in the museum. Now, obviously, the Snyder Cut is far superior, but I really like just seeing Wonder Woman bring it to save people. Yeah. I love that kind of stuff. And to me, that's just like, it's one of Wonder Woman's best scenes.
Scene.
Yeah.
That is one of her better scenes in anything she does as Wonder Woman. Because I love the fact that she almost slides through that moment when she's doing reflecting all those bullets of everyone. Like her coming in, that's a great entry for her. Aquaman doesn't get that moment though. Do you think he gets a moment? He gets a drunken bar scene moment.
He gets a drunken bar scene, and maybe when they're underground, he gets his kind of a moment because they get all the water and stuff.
It's a little too late. We've been introduced to him. Flash had a really strong intro. I think Cyborg's. Now I look at it, I like Cyborg's intro.
His intro was good. I just felt like Aquaman was a little flat, and Batman we already saw in the other movies. We didn't like him then. We didn't like him now, and I feel like Ben was half checked out. In this.
I like Ben Affleck. I like Batfleck.
Batfleck is amazing.
Yeah, I think what works for Batfleck is the fact that he looks like the Dark Knight Returns. The suit, the whole setup, Dark Knight Returns. That's what works for Batfleck.
I'm gonna say though, he's the best Bruce Wayne I've seen.
I disagree. I feel like he's checked in.
Who would you put above him as Bruce Wayne?
I think Christian Bale. Christian Bale's a better Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. I thought that was his weakest part. Was being a believable,
he was
charming Bruce Wayne.
He was the quintessential billionaire playboy without a care in the the world. That's his cover.
A great job.
Now I'm not saying Ben Affleck was bad, but he was more broody as Bruce Wayne. And that was just Bruce basically if I met Bruce Wayne, I'd be like, "You're Batman, aren't you?" If I met Christian Bale, I'd be like, "Wow, you're a prick."
Yeah.
Well, that's probably the problem. He's a prick. His version of Bruce Wayne is a prick. That kind of, I suppose that works for Christopher Nolan's Batman. But for me, I think I can see Ben Affleck, hitting on the chicks at the bar kind of thing.
Well, that's just Ben Affleck. He's being himself.
He's not actually. In real life, he's a family man. He's a good guy, Ben Affleck.
Is he? I thought he liked the
Well, he's got alcohol problems, which destroyed his marriage. But mate, throw a rock down the street, see if you don't hit a household where that happens.
Exactly.
So but besides that, he's this guy.
But
go on.
What the thing about him is there really wasn't too much differentiation between, except for the voice box where they were like he was more Pinhead.
Voice modulator.
Yeah. Really wasn't much difference between Batman.
He made it.
Yeah. Between Batman and Bruce Wayne, there really wasn't. It blended too much. There really wasn't much difference.
I also like the fact that we're seeing an aged Bruce Wayne at that point. That's probably why we're drawn to it. He's a guy who's been through hell and back.
Yeah.
Like this isn't Bruce Wayne year 1, year 2. This is I've lost Robin.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't Robin get killed?
All these supervillains. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I kind of like that.
I like that idea, but I still like having a Bruce Wayne that's like, "Hi, I'm Bruce Wayne," and then I'm Batman. There's like that difference. Like the person that did it,
they're all like that, though, aren't they?
No. Like Michael Keaton's was a great example of a Bruce Wayne.
He was still trying to do the
no, he wasn't gruff.
It's just Bay went, oh, Batman! Like he went full.
I can't even
gravel.
understand.
What? Yeah, who's the worst? Clooney.
Clooney was the terrible Batman.
Because Clooney's just Clooney.
Yeah.
It wasn't matter if the mask was on or not. He was just Clooney.
Goofy. Yeah, it was terrible Batman.
Yeah, it's just like touch my bat nipples.
Yeah, Val was okay. I kind of got.
I never cared about the bat nipples.
Val Kilmer here.
Yeah. I like the open. Is it Batman and Robin or Batman Forever? No, it's got to be Batman and Robin. Where they opened the movie, we put the suits on, but we had to make sure we got the butt shot in.
Oh
so
yeah, that's
putting on the suits right at the beginning of Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin. Yeah,
and they're putting on the rubber suits, and they both got to show their asses in there.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay,
the bat ass.
This is the movie. Bat.
Okay, I'm gonna say it once again. I laughed heartily whenever they did that, and it was funnier in Batman Forever. Whenever it was the suit up at the end, and it was just like chest, arm gun, mask, ass. I laughed. I was like,
I must admit, I wonder if we all got it wrong about Batman and Robin and have missed out on one of the greatest comedies ever made.
It's not funny,
and we just didn't get the fact that this was taking the piss out of Batman.
Yeah, it was.
I wonder sometimes.
I feel like it was trying to be an
funny,
homage
maybe,
to
but
the
it wasn't
60s one.
funny. It was just bad.
Yeah.
It is hilarious, that film. It's just unintentional hilarity.
Yeah. All right, everybody, chill.
Yeah.
I like watching that movie because I enjoy seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger have a great time.
Yeah, he was
having the time. He's like, I cannot believe they are paying me with a private jet. He's so funny. My children could write better than this.
Poison Ivy's amazing in that film.
Oh, she was good. She lived it up. No,
no, she was great. She was playing that sex siren of the 60s. Great. She's great.
Yeah, I agree.
Uma, I love you, Uma.
Uma's amazing.
Can't wait to see you Kill Bill 3 if you ever do it.
Is that really happening?
No.
Good. I love He's got the idea right.
As well.
Though.
Yeah.
I love Uma Thurman as well, just not in Batman and Robin.
Mm.
Because she was really bad in that one. But I don't think anybody could have played that.
I thought she was the only one who got it early on. Oh, okay. I'm in a C-grade movie. This movie is intentionally horrible, so I'm going to play that up to it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And the only one that was really bad in that one was Voiceless Bane.
That was just
bomb.
Yeah, I was like, what? Bane's actually supposed to be very intelligent. What?
We got the great John Glover in that film, though.
Yes, he was great as Jason Woodrow.
Yeah, that's right.
The Floronic Man.
Well,
then, guys, we're talking Batman and Robin. Let's do it. All right, your force, gun to your head.
Oh God!
All right, you've got to watch a film. Is it Justice League or is it Batman and Robin? What do you watch?
Ooh,
Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
think
Batman
so. Yeah.
I think it's actually more entertaining.
Notice the lack of hesitation in my voice because at least in that movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger is having the time of his life. No one was having fun in Joss Whedon's Justice League. Everyone wanted to die.
You can laugh at a lot of things in Batman and Robin, from the bat skis to the bat credit card to there's just so much stupidness in that film. That this one, and I think that's what everybody felt when they walked out of this film. Well, most people thought that this was just nothing.
Right.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good.
Yeah.
There's no way it was great, but it wasn't even good.
Incredibly dumbed down.
It's forgettable. Is that kind of forgettable? I mean, I never really think about it. The last time I thought about Justice League when Jason said we're doing Superman, and then it dawned on me we'd have to do this film. But I don't think about this film at all. Yeah.
You know what else was terrible about this movie? The bad guy, Steppenwolf.
Oh yes, you got to talk about the complete remodeling of his face too.
Yeah, this is different. I noticed
this is a different look. They remodeled it, and the worst thing is, it looked so CGI. His face.
It was terrible.
And it's like photorealistic CGI. So you could have put a guy in the costume and had the same exact look. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I will say, in defense of Joss Whedon's Steppenwolf, there were a couple of moments where he's almost bored. Whenever somebody says, "Wait, I have a family," he goes, "Why do you always say that? That is just that. What do I care?
Yeah, I'm the bad guy. I don't care.
That was kind of fun. But I'm gonna say the Steppenwolf in the Snyder cut is so much better.
Yeah.
Both in look and in personality. Yeah, he's got this backstory. You kind of feel bad for him.
That's right. In fact, in that Snyder Cut, when we get to it, like he also has a boss. I think the big thing here they cut out, they have no reference to Darkseid.
Yeah, there's nothing to do with Darkseid. Yeah.
Even at the end when they go up the boom tube,
right?
Like there's not even a cut to going. Oh, I've got to go back because there's nothing. They completely cut out reference for of it.
The ultimate big bad in the DC universe, which is what do you? They just doing?
You know, I mean,
they wanted that sweet bonus money, and just
they wanted Marvel money. They wanted Marvel money.
You can't confuse the audience. They don't know who Darkseid is. You can't. They're going to be so confused when they see this movie.
Oh God, terrible movie.
And that's the other thing. It's the arrogance to think the audiences aren't smart enough to understand.
Yeah,
you know, I just watched the next 3 episodes of Andor that dropped the cup. I watched them last night.
Oh, I got.
There's an example of really intelligent, adult-focused material for Star Wars that I think even if you're a kid, you may not understand all the little intricacies with the politics and that, but there's still enough in there for you to enjoy.
Even the rave scene.
I thought that was one of the most amazingly powerful scenes.
The rave?
That's her, yes, because what it represents in that episode. She's lost control. She had to give herself to it. This is a woman who sent her daughter to basically be married off.
Right. I thought it was
sending her daughter to basically be a married rape victim for the next 10 years or whatever.
Yeah, essentially.
You know,
and the fact that.
And the fact, look, that's actually referenced from season 1.
Oh,
I'm referencing season 1. Yeah, because remember they introduced him.
Yeah, they did. That's right. 1. Yeah.
It's all laid out what they're going to do for that girl. She has to give up her daughter.
Yeah.
You know, no, I love that moment. Mon Mothma rocks in that show.
Yeah, she's.
Anyway, we don't need to talk about that. Let's tie up
because we don't want to talk about this movie because it's so bad.
Yeah, we're talking about anything else.
About Justice League.
Justice League is awful.
We don't talk about Whedon.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, was anybody clamoring for Justice League 2?
No, and still to this day, they were clamoring for another version of the same film. Because it was so bad. It's like, wow, this is terrible. Is there another version of this film somewhere? Like,
release the Snyder Cut.
Yeah. The
$300 million. Box office in return. $300 million it cost to make it.
Wow.
$661 million box office return, which it means it's an unmitigated failure, disaster.
Because it should have been $1 billion, right?
Well, no, you got to think about it. If you got if a budget's $300 million, you double that budget for marketing costs. So it's a $600 million film to make. And then in return, your best case scenario is you get a third of the return from the theaters.
Oh, man.
That's what they average it out to be. They lost a bunch of money on this thing. And you know what's most
so they should have.
What's most stupid as well, they don't back away. They spend the next 2 to 3 years doubling down with other films.
Nope.
They weren't giving up on this universe.
We got to get our bonuses.
Yeah.
You know, and, it's an absolute... this film represents the tragedy of the DC universe.
Yeah. They just couldn't get it right. They just can't get it right. Because, like, Wonder Woman was decent. Wonder Woman 2...
84 was unbelievable.
Awful.
Has a great opening moment, which I love, in the mall because it felt very much old school Superman.
Yeah.
The rest of that, Pedro. Oh, I love you, Pedro. But mate, I'm glad. Like, I don't ever want to see you play that role again.
Uh-huh.
Awful.
Hey, I'm in a movie. It could have been better.
It could have been better.
What?
Yeah, like
it's the movie that turned Wonder Woman into a rapist.
Yeah, they did. And there was a lot of
I've only seen that movie once, but I just remember thinking, "Ugh, no."
Yeah, it was a poor choice.
Diana,
did
you
did you see it at the theater or?
I saw it in the theater.
Nobody saw it in theaters. How did you see it in theaters? Is during the pandemic?
Was it that lockdown time? Wasn't there a big controversy about this?
It was
they released it straight.
Yeah, it was on HBO Max.
Yeah, that was the big controversy around this film.
Oh no!
It led to court cases.
Oh no, I saw the first one in theaters. Yeah. I get it confused.
This one led to them suing Warner Brothers, saying, "Well, we lost out on all this extra bonuses, like the actress and the director, and
like
they
points of
kind
the
of got
back
screwed
end.
over." Yeah. But at the end of this day, this film attempted to be the Avengers and couldn't even get itself to be Iron Man 2 or the Dark World, Thor: The Dark World. It's not even up to that standard.
I don't even think it's up to the standards of the Justice League TV movie that they never even released.
Hey, man, like there are some great Justice League animated DC films.
No, I mean the live action.
Yeah.
The live action, which is where they make the costumes out of what looks like the foam board.
Yes.
It's so bad.
Wasn't George Romero the guy that
I
makes
know what you're saying. Yeah, 2007, George Miller was weeks away from filming the Justice League Mortal, I believe the title was.
Which I have a feeling would have been a great movie.
Oh,
the script is amazing. The script is amazing. It's a fantastic kind of script they come out. Adrian Brody was going to be the Flash back then, which I thought was a great choice.
That is a good choice.
And you had an Australian model called Megan Gale, but she's really talented, so I can see her. We had the Cannibal playing Batman. Armie Hammer was cast.
Oh wow! I think he's a good choice. He's actually a good choice to be.
He would have been. Yeah, he would have been. But he's a bit bitey, so.
That's right. He had a scandal too. What is it with?
Yeah, Armie Hammer hasn't been in anything. He has his own podcast now, and he just shot a film with Uwe Boll.
Oh,
that's the only director that would hire him. So I'm like, I want to see that film.
I do too. The Uwe Boll movie coming up later this year.
Wow.
Yes, we do. We do. One that's very hard to find. I'm still struggling to find it. Either way,
quality movie though. I'm going to say it's a quality movie. You wouldn't expect anybody to see a quality movie and Uwe Boll in the same sentence, but here we are. It's a quality movie.
It's probably his best. Maybe he's done then.
Wow.
I'm not a big
Isn't
fan.
Saying
of
a lot. Isn't saying a lot. He's dropped the camera a couple of times and it shot better movies than any of the ones he does on purpose.
Damn. Rough.
The release of the Snyder Cut started as a troll literally days after this film was released, right?
Yeah. I remember
it started as a troll.
Quickly.
I know that. Like everyone's saying, like, we got screwed over here, we want the Snyder Cut. But the smart people got involved and they started getting petitions for it. And then and this is the fans' responsibility, was they started then getting doing it for charity, doing small things online and getting petitions and donating to charity, which got the attention of Zack Snyder, who then went to Warner Brothers and said, look at this movement, everybody wants it. Every other day I'm getting asked for the Snyder Cut. And unbelievably so. And never been done in Hollywood before. So it was shocking that they did that. 4 years later, we get the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Which is an incredible story, just how it even got to be a thing, I reckon. Yeah. So I'm really excited to talk about that, because how many other films do we have out there, guys, besides Star Wars, redos, where we get the same things, a lot of the same film, but we get a pretty well a brand new film out of it.
Blade Runner.
That's what we get out of the Snyder Cut.
I was just going to say Alien 3 is about to get this version.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even I've seen that deleted scenes from Alien 3. But here for the Snyder Cut,
it's a wholly different movie.
Stuff.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they went back.
They shot new stuff. It's not only the scenes that Josh cut out, it's new stuff that they shot as well. Yeah.
It's a superior.
So it makes it interesting. But as for Alien 3, I know what you're talking about. Yes, I like the cows too. I believe the cows.
You believe the cows? No,
I like the cows.
And it's coming out like kind of soon.
Been out a while. You can watch that version online.
Yeah, it's the assembly cut.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought that was because I saw it on Reddit while I was doom scrolling.
They have a fan cut that they are supposed to be releasing, or they already have released, but it's not an official cut, which I'm going to watch. I'm going to see how it is.
Shit, Fincher don't want nothing to do with that film. All right?
No, I don't blame him.
He wants absolutely nothing to do with that film. which is a shame because I liked the film. I went to the cinema and walked out of the movie going, I enjoyed that.
It was scary when I saw it initially in the theaters as a little kid.
Well, I don't know. Well, but we're getting off track here, guys. We're talking about
Justice League, terrible.
Justice League, terrible. Movie. I think it is. Look, I'd love to hear someone out there defend it in the comments, please. For the defender,
good luck.
I'm sure there's somebody in the deep dark corners of this planet that.
I went to go see this movie while my daddy was in the hospital in a coma after getting hit in the head by the hooves of a horse. And I'll be damned if halfway through the movie he didn't show up wearing his open hospital robe saying, "Get the hell out of this movie. What's wrong with you?" Justice League brought me back my daddy.
You know what's an interesting thing, and we'll talk about this next week when we do the Snyder Cut, is then stepping back after we watch the film and looking back at Snyder's vision.
Yeah.
Because
block off 6 hours to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm telling you, it is long.
I started watching it after I saw this just because of
it. Yeah, like it's interesting what he does with this. And when you go to look at the Snyder Cut, I think it raises the biggest thing ever. What the hell was he thinking with Superman? And that's something we can discuss next week, because if you don't have Justice League and you only have the Snyder Cut, that Superman that you love, Jason, is nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look back at the whole franchise and go, when was Superman cool?
Never.
He's just a big douche.
Yeah.
The entire life. It's amazing. You have your biggest money-making character of all time, and in retrospect, you've made him the most dour, annoying, unlikable Superman in cinema history.
The only thing I liked about that Superman is when he beat up the dude that was messing with his mom. That's it. Everything else was like, it's just exhausting. It's exhausting. Those movies were exhausting because they just didn't get it right.
So it also then you got to ask the question, guys. When's the last time we got a Superman that we believe, and I'm not going to count TV because I know the name if it was TV, but we're not counting TV. Cinematically speaking, Superman hasn't been right on screen in about 40 years.
I was going to say, Christopher Reeve, right?
It really is.
Yeah.
It's moments even in number 4, which is horrible, as we know.
It's still better than that.
He's Superman.
Yeah.
And he embodies the spirit of what Superman is.
Yeah.
But Brandon Routh, although like Bryan Singer didn't create took all the fun and joy out of Superman. And that's the sequel we got in Superman Returns. And obviously Henry Cavill, who's just, really just one bad day away from being Zod in this entire franchise.
Yeah, I feel like he was Zod.
Yeah. Maybe that's what we needed, Jason. We needed a falling down, cross Superman movie. So we see Superman good, but he just has that really bad day. And by the end, he's dour, evil Superman.
This is Injustice Superman before he went bad.
Yeah. 100%.
Like the Joker's about to blow up Metropolis and Superman's about to go over the edge. And I would have totally believed it if they had done an Injustice movie with Henry Cavill Superman. I would not have
would work.
It. I'd just be like, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
And shout out to Henry Cavill, who came out publicly a few times saying he was always looking forward to be Superman.
Yeah.
So bad for the guy. I really do.
Yeah.
And what sucks is he's Superman. Like if you look at him, his jaw structure, his hair, the way he is.
When they're not slicking it back,
they're not slicking it back. And he's jacked, like he's Superman. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely. And the guy's very funny. He's actually got good comedic timing. He was in a film I watched earlier this year. It's Ungentlemanly Warfare.
I want to see
that. He plays the madman in World War II.
Yeah, I want to see that.
But he is funny in that film.
I'll ask you after because I really want to see that movie.
The one with Guy Ritchie directed it.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I love it.
It's a throwaway film. It's not like I'm going to buy it or anything, but it just showed me that Henry Cavill
has range.
Probably should go do a comedy.
Yeah,
I think he could be quite funny.
Didn't he do one with John Cena recently? I feel.
No, you're talking about the President's movie where the Prime Minister is that. You seen the trailer for that? They have two presidents who the Prime Minister of England and the president get taken over by terrorists, so they got to team up in this dumb action movie.
Argyle is what I'm thinking of.
Oh, you're thinking of Argyle? Oh, Argyle's awful.
It's really bad.
Oh,
really...
dude, it's so bad. With that bad hair too.
That's why I haven't seen it, because I've heard it's just terrible.
It's funny, but it's terrible.
Well, next week, guys. Well, sorry, not next episode, but the episode afterwards. We will be returning with the great Captain Joe Dub to talk about the Snyder Cut. We need that extra time because it is
a 6-hour movie,
73 hours long. So
70 years long.
I watched that movie, and by the time I was done, my daughter had graduated high school. And I completely missed it.
Yeah, it's a long one. It's a long one, definitely.
But when it comes to, Joe, you're not here for the next episode of VHS Vault, unfortunately. But I am very eager to watch this film Jason's brought up for next week, which is called Rock and Roll, an animated cartoon. You've ever heard of that before, Joe?
No, I've never even heard of that.
Never heard of it either?
Obscure, and it
sounds obscure.
It is. Again, it's not a classic. It's definitely got flaws, but it is such an interesting movie just to see this animated film plugged into the pop culture of the 1980s. Because as I said, the bad guy is Mick Jagger.
Oh, that's
not played by Mick Jagger, but whenever you look at it, you're like, that's Mick Jagger.
Oh,
why is Mick Jagger the villain?
Is it like Ralph Bakshi type of animation?
It was done by Nelvana.
Nelvana
did it. The people who did The Littles and Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, I know
it's their only feature film.
Wow.
So that's interesting. The Canadians did it.
Wow.
Canada is responsible for this.
Yeah, you know it's going to be weird then.
Yeah, they're always apologizing. The bag's like, I'm going to kill you. I'm sorry about it,
though. I enjoy the movie. You're going to watch it. You're going to be like, well, it could have been a lot better. Yes, it could have been a lot better, but I still enjoy it because it's weird and it's obscure, and I just like it. I like it. It's rats on drugs playing rock and roll, and it's great.
Wow. Well, I mean, I'm going to start watching the Batman, the Snyder Cut, so I can be on time to watch.
Yes, you should start now.
And I'll tell you what, Joe, I'll throw it in there now. Then we got to have you back for the review of Superman Legacy. Go see it.
Absolutely. Sign
and
me
then,
up.
We can have you back for Superman Legacy and rip it a new a-hole if it's terrible.
Oh,
it better not be. If it's
good.
bad, I'm just gonna lose all faith.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna legit.
If it's horrible, I'm gonna be split because I'm gonna be really disappointed, but I'm also gonna be happy because I know it's gonna be a great VHS Vault episode. So I'll be split if that's the case.
I'm seeing it in the largest IMAX on the planet at the 72nd.
La-dee-da. I'm going to see it in a movie theater that used to be a Walmart, so there.
Yeah. I'm drilling a hole through the cinema and looking for a peephole.
And I'm taking the boys. It's their first IMAX movie. So I'm excited.
No, we're going to one of those. They're called D-Box here. Mm-hmm. It's a cinema where you got rows, but you got those moving seats.
Oh, that's cool.
Also, at the front of the center, they have the beds.
Oh,
you heard about them? The beds where you actually there's like a queen size bed.
Yeah.
You can sit at the front and lay on a bed and watch it.
Yeah, we had them for a little bit, and then bed bugs.
How are you not getting in legal trouble with that?
Well, like I said, they had bed bugs.
Some horny teenagers are going to do something awful.
I just thought a D-box was what they buried Superman in the Superman v Batman.
He is a bit of a D-box, isn't he?
Just a bit of a D-box.
A little bit. Yeah.
All right, guys. That's it for the VHS Vault. Thanks for watching. Jason, let those guys know how they can support us here in the VHS Vault so we keep doing it.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, please check the video description below for your chance to join us on Patreon for as little as $5 a month or more. You can support all the dumb things that we do on this channel, including the VHS Vault, Jason Watches The Power of J-Skull Breaking Wind, Jalapeno, Double XL Men, and all of the goofy garbage
Spotlight
that we do here. Filmation Spotlight, absolutely our new show. But yeah, just do that. You can also become a channel member. It's I've been saying it's $5 a month. I think it's actually $5.99 a month. But you know what? You get all the videos early if you become a channel member, and you get this really cool icon next to your name when you post something. So everybody look at you and go, "Why do they have that icon? I want that icon." Like, you can't have that icon. I paid for it. So join us right here. Help us. We like your money and we love you.
Well said, Jason. We agree with you. We'll catch you all next time on the VHS Vault. Thanks, guys.